Hey everyone, Frosty here. Today we're diving into our top 5 support weapons in Helldivers 2 against Terminids on the Polar Patch Edition. The support weapon rankings will start from 5, which is the worst of the best, to 1, which is best of the best. And in this ranking is based off of a few criterias from my own experience. First is the usability. How does it feel when using it? Next is synergy with loadouts. How does this work with your loadouts? And lastly, consistency with outputting damage. So if it's slow, is it worth the wait? So in terms of the support weapons, if it's slow, is it worth the amount of damage that you're waiting on? Or if it's fast, is it putting enough damage to equate to not using a slow weapon? So maybe more of clearing chaff out and whatnot. Now, before we begin, I always like to mention that this ranking is based on my own opinion. We took the same criteria as we did with our last top 5 video, which was for the primary weapons. And also we took some information from the Helldivers 2 wiki, which the links will be listed down below in the description. So make sure you check that out. I don't expect everyone to agree with me, so I'd love to hear your rankings in the comments below. And if you enjoy this type of content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. And also, we try to stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. EST on Twitch, so make sure to check us out. A link will be in the description below as well. All right, everyone, let's dive in. To start off the ranking systems, I want to notate this as a baseline. I'm going to approach the video as a maxed out ship module Helldiver. That means with our ranking system and discussing ship modules, we are assuming that we have the streamlined request process ship module. Other support weapon stratagems are able to utilize other ship modules that others cannot, which we will showcase, but all of them utilize this one. That way, you're not hearing me say the same one throughout the entire video. Starting off our rank number 5 spot is going to be the AC-8 autocannon. So it just barely beat out the anti-materia rifle because of the AoE effect that the autocannon has. On top of its also direct impact damage. It can also take down Shrieker Nest and Spore Spewers. I just want to add real quick here, if you guys know that the anti-materia rifle can take down the Shrieker Nest or the Spore Spewers, let me know. I gave up a little too soon, didn't really notice that it could. But back to the autocannon, it does take a lot of ammo when trying to knock out a Spore Spewer or individual Shrieker Nest. It also has the ability to be team reloaded and is great with taking out chaff due to its explosive trait. It also does a very good job when staggering chargers, bile spewers, nursing spewers, and any other medium-sized terminid or heavier terminid, and also has the capability of killing chargers and bile titans whenever you hit them in their weak spots. However, it's low on my list because it requires a backpack slot, which for some, it might not be a big deal, but if I wanted to run a jump pack or, a bubble shield stratagem or even a guard dog, I simply can't run that. So it kind of mitigates some of the loadout potential. However, it does feel really good to shoot, but in terms of versatility for a loadout, it's not really there. So I'm also going to include some fun facts as a reminder. The wiki for this is down below where we pulled all this information for all the other rankings as well. So the autocannon is not fully reloaded at once. Instead, adding 5 shell or half per clip. Reloading is only possible with 5 or less shells left. So a double reload when it comes to a completely empty magazine will require a longer reload, so it is best to top off as much as you can, which also leads to my other concern, but of the fact that this weapon is you are required a stationary stance when reloading. So again, as I reiterated, the double reloading makes it a lot longer to reload and you're in a stationary position. So when in a tense situation and you're dealing with a, giant bug swarms, chaff, hunter patrol, stalkers all over you, you might find yourself in a position where you now don't have a support weapon because you're being targeted so heavily. And now that also comes down to a skill issue on my end, but that's why it doesn't really fit my playstyle because of that. Now, next up, the firing has a significant recoil, and utilizing the armor passives of Fortified or Engineering Kit helps with the recoil due to a recoil reduction of those armors, which when crouching or prone reduces the recoil reduction by 30%. However, I do find that running a variant of armors is still useful and you're not really limited. Like, it's not end all be all on that. And then lastly, I wanted to add in the damage numbers. So the damage impact is 260 and then 150 for the blast AoE. So with that being said, that is why the AC-8 autocannon is in my rank 5 spot. Next up on our list on the rank 4 spot is the Arc 3 Arc Thrower. This electrifying weapon, see what I did there? All right, I know, sorry, cringe. But this electrifying weapon can jump between a maximum of 3 enemies. due to the circuit expansion ship module, which the arc thrower has a range of up to 35 meters, can stagger enemies, and with rapid hits on an enemy will stun lock the foe. Now, it does have a randomness to the arc or to the lightning bolt that comes out, so be very mindful of what's downrange of your arc thrower. It ranks at number 4 because of its ability to bypass armor and kill heavier Terminids like Bile Titans, Behemoths, and Chargers. It also has an AoE effect that can knock out chaff, which also leads me into the fact that you don't have to reload this weapon and only a quick 1-second wind-up time between each shot. It is versatile in loadouts, but may require other stratagems or tactics to reduce the number of shots to kill Terminids. Now, here's some fun facts for y'all. This is one of the only 3 weapons in the game to have truly infinite ammo, as unlike other energy weapons, there is no heat sink. The Arc 3 arc thrower requires the attack button to be held, as I was saying earlier, for 1 second to charge it and to be released when ready to fire. The Arc 3 has a deceptively strong penetration, able to damage heavily armored enemies like Chargers and Bile Titans, and it also has the potential to kill Chargers on its own, requiring around 15 shots. But if you pair that up with, stratagems, or if you pair that up with your teammates of attacking a Charger, it can obviously be killed a lot quicker. Now, it does kill lower tier Terminids in 1 shot. It takes about 2 to 3 shots on Brood Commanders, but that obviously depends on if it's a healthy Brood Commander, and can destroy a Devastator's helmet in 1 shot, but can be challenging. Now, there's something else I wanted to notate, that there is the Arc armor where it reduces 95%. And the thing is when utilizing this weapon, I don't expect my teammates to run that armor, and neither should you if you see someone with you with a Tesla tower. It really comes down to a skill issue of, one, the user of the actual arc thrower. Just be very careful when shooting with a teammate in front of you. There is a potential chance you will kill them, or nonetheless, you just shouldn't have to rely on your teammates to run something because you're running something. But with that being said, that is why the Arc 3 arc thrower is on my number 4 spot. Coming up next is our rank 3 M105 Stalwart. This weapon can be very versatile, as it can actually replace your primary weapon, not literally, but you're just using it primarily in the game. Just for people who will say, Frosty, this is not a primary weapon, it can replace it, allowing you to pick something else. So bear with me there. While being said that, you are able to also reload on the move. Unlike the MG43 variant, you are not able to do that. On top of that, you can change the RPM, as a very high ammo capacity. And so the Stalwart is my rank 3 because of the firepower it just simply produces. With its highest RPM being 1150 and the ability for me to interchange this weapon again as a primary, it frees up what I want my actual primary slot to be, such as a Bile or Nursing Spear killer or a Stalker killer like the Jar 5 Dominator. It also gains from the benefit of the donation access license. So Stalwart will always drop in with 3 reserve magazines instead of 2. So it has build diversity and versatility and more control of where my shots are going. So we're not too worried about friendly fire, as it simply comes down to the user slinging bullets downrange. Lastly, it feels amazing to use, especially combined with the fortified or engineering kit passive on our armor, but you're not limited to those. But those are what I would use when utilizing the Stalwart. Now, a little bit of fun facts here. This support weapon designed for taking massed hordes of lightly armored foes. It is the lighter variant of the MG43 machine gun, and it sacrifices damage and armor penetration for higher rate of fire, larger ammo pool, and the ability to reload on the move. So going back to the old primary, it basically feels like a primary slot variant versus the other heavy machine guns. And then besides that, you compare that with a Dominator Slugger, and now you're covering chaff and you're covering medium armor. So that is why the M105 Stalwart is in my rank 3 spot. Up next in our rank 2 spot is the Flam 40 Flamethrower. Absolutely one of my favorites. I just want to go ahead and start out strong here by saying this fury of a weapon. Again, you see what I did there? All right, I'm sorry, cringe. That's the last time. So this flamethrower, let's start off strong here, can kill Chargers quickly by aiming directly at the leg. YouTube comments, thank you so much for giving me that note, by the way. Gave it a try. Absolutely right. This is why I love making these, because you guys give me so much good advice. Now back to the video. So this weapon can also clear AoE very well, and also is very good at spreading friendly fire damage. So by the way, when you get some friendly fire damage of flames on you, just make sure you dive. You'll be okay. Also, it gains benefits from the following ship module, which is a donation access license and the enhanced combustion. So with the donation access license, as we saw with Stalwart, you will drop down with an extra reserve. So in this case, we'll have 4 reserve fuel tanks instead of 2, when called in, and with the enhanced combustion, fire damage dealt is increased by 25%. That's not limited just to flamethrower, but in this case, the flamethrower is getting a 25% increase. So all fire damage overall is getting an increase. It ranks number 2 on my list because of its ability to kill chargers quickly by aiming directly at its legs, while also doubling down as an AoE destroyer, a chaff killer, a breacher menace, whatever you want to call it. Being able to carry one weapon that can torch the battlefield, have plenty of reserve fuel tanks due to the donation access license, and then on top of that, having a 25% fire damage increase due to the enhanced combustion, it makes this weapon incredibly powerful and most importantly, fun to use. Now, you would particularly run this with a more AoE-minded loadout while pseudo-filling the role of a heavy or armor Terminid killer. Now, on top of that, we're going to have some fun facts here. So the heavy armor penetration can kill Terminids all the way up to Bile Titans. However, Bile Titans are a bit riskier to kill and recommended to use other tactics first, like maybe calling down an orbital road cannon strike. Maybe you kind of chipped it with a 500 kg, something before you engage with the flamethrower. Now, on top of that, you can absolutely destroy its toxic sac so it stops spewing and it goes more for a stomping attack because it can no longer spew acid on you or your teammates. So that is also a very good thing. And also, whenever you're attacking a Bile Titan with the flamethrower, you want to make sure you maybe come up at a higher angle, or if you can get right up underneath it for your maximum damage. Now, the damage is split in between 2 ways. The first way is damage on impact, which will kill lower tier Terminids quickly. And then the notable damage, which is the damage over time, also known as dot, from the burning effect. So against stronger Terminids, we will rely on the dot damage for more effective results. And then for the impact damage for Terminids, smaller Terminids to die effectively quickly, essentially. Now, the burn damage lasts for 3 seconds without taking further fire damage. Flamethrower tactics would be sweeping the battlefield, which can zone away chaff. This is something that I like to do against bug breaches and or patrols if I feel as if I'm being overwhelmed. And then as a reminder, if you do get some fire on you by your flamethrower teammate, just again, jump away. And then the last thing I'll leave you here with on this one is if you're diving directly backwards while shooting the flamethrower, you can catch yourself on fire because your legs are passing through the jets. But with that being said, that is why the flamethrower is in my rank 2 spot. Now, coming in at our rank 1 spot is going to be the expendable anti-tank, or the EAT 17. With a 63-second cooldown, drops 2 eats on the hell pods that come down. You can effectively take out 2 chargers, a spore spewer, or 1 shrieker tree at a time, and rather immediately versus dealing with a wind up, and then also being able to share with a teammate. So make sure, by the way, when you do get a eat call down, make sure you collect all the eats, and then if they're on the floor, that way you can see them on the mini map. You never know when you're having to run back and stumble upon a leftover eat, and it could save you. Literally, it's happened to me often. So this is why it takes the number 1 spot. It's due to its extreme versatility with loadout variations and also rapid response time when delivering a well-placed shot. It can be useful for your entire team due to others being able to pick up, as well or as any leftovers from a previous call down from a fight or from when you were holding a position and you're just traversing through. Some fun facts. I couldn't really narrow this down, so the damage is between 650 to 800 based off the wiki. Either way, it's enough to one-hit most Terminids when utilizing precise shootings. So when I say precise shootings, again, let me reiterate. On the Charger, you want to aim for the crown. On the Bile Titan, you want to aim for the crown. Now, with the Charger, you can one-hit it in the crown, which is the top of its head. And then the Bile Titan, if you aim for basically the crown of the forehead, it can take 2 to 3 hits with just the eat alone, which is fantastic. It can also close bug holes with direct hit. And this endgame support weapon can be unlocked at level 3, which is amazing for new divers. So with that being said, that is why the expendable anti-tank is my rank 1 for the Polar Patch Edition. All right, everyone, that about wraps up this top 5 support weapons video for the Polar Patch Edition. If you made it this far, thank y'all so much. I also want to make a special thank you, and out of greatest gratitude, guys, we have just surpassed 500 subs by the time this video releases. And I just want to say thank you again. It really means a lot to me. I do put quite a bit of time and a lot of learning trying to make these videos. And it's just really grateful for me to see you guys are happy with what's being produced. And there's a lot of learning I need to do. So again, I just want to say thank you again. So also, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to check out my top 5 primary weapons against Terminids or another one of our loadout videos. And then lastly, don't forget to share your top 5 support weapons and why. While we're ending here, guys, thanks again, and I'll see y'all in the next dive.